first laser.
I won't have it be.
About 4 times. Maybe one more.
Yeah, I mean that's all good. It's really like a 1 in 100 thing to hit, so it takes a lot of attempts, and it doesn't really waste time compared to most other real-time runs because it's such a rare thing to hit during a run. But here the bot comes in, and we'll be progressing very smoothly. Yeah, that was actually found in 2012 by your eliteness, who a long-standing member of the community and a former champion.
What Bossman's doing is he's switching to Cam Spy view because it.
Good clutchness there.
Slightly unfortunate turn of events there, but it's okay. It's all recovered.
Perfect Dark is like exponentially more difficult than GoldenEye. Like they really put a lot of work into it to make it a tough game.
Yeah, the guards aren't quite so silly. Going to be a bunch of auto guns coming up after this score here. We just run right straight through them, never take a hit.
Right.
Yep, we got two.
Didn't die, so.
Extraction now.
Didn't die.
You see, we're going to take out a pile of guards here. You actually have to escort Dr. Carroll. Dr. Carroll's sort of like the Natalia of this game. You really don't want Dr. Carroll to ever die on you. That'll fail the mission. So Boss is going to take out the guards, most likely to do damage to Dr. Carroll. These two are pretty significant. And you're actually going to see on their skip right here, it doesn't really look like one, but there's a locked door which you have to kill tons of guards to have open, or you can simply just press B from the other side of the wall from the elevator here, and that door is now open. And that really saves like 20 or 30 seconds. That's a very, very old trick.
Picked up the rocket launcher, which is going to be used to take out Cassandra's bodyguards here. There's 5 of them.
So this room goes pitch black, and well, it would have if you took more time. Kill these guards, objective 2 completed, very well done.
Great execution through Cassandra there, who could get in the way, but Bossman got through there no problem. That was a good extraction. And this is a relatively straightforward level 2. You start out on top of a ledge, you snipe 2 guards.
That no scope. Oh, we got some good donations coming in. Mascalino donates $50. Says perfect dark height. We got Rouse $30. Hey guys, twice a year give us awesome entertainment, good cause to donate. Keep up the good work. Games done quick rules. VG donates $25. I've lost track of how many GDQs I've watched, but everyone has been awesome. Thanks all. And cancer is bad. Thank you guys for the donations and keep them coming. If you noticed earlier we made the file name of this perfect dark file, Ox was 941. I recommend Googling that if you haven't seen what's up with that lately. And we're trying to make that the file name for Ocarina of Time as well, Count Tonight by CFG. So if you want to donate, and you know, that might be a good incentive to put towards. Still a tight race in the file name, so that can certainly make a difference.
Coming up in here are a series of shock trooper guards that all have to be killed to complete the final objective. And they all have to die, and the last one that dies lets go of a key card that'll end the level. So it's a fairly difficult ending.
Yeah, you just gotta snipe the guards, and you really gotta watch how many bullets are in your clip, because this gun fires fast. Now in Chicago here, the intended strategy is to actually locate like a tracking bug which will hack into a taxi cab and program it to go create an explosion somewhere which will lure guards out and, you know, give you space to go do what you got to do. That's very complex. It takes about a minute and a half. So the other option is to make this pixel perfect mind throw. Yeah.
Well done. Well done. That's a really hard trick to pull off.
This level's pretty nasty. You're going to see boss shooting at what appears to be nothing, but they're actually cloaked guards.
And they have pre-programmed paths that you know of beforehand, so you know where they're going to be. And if you lose track of them, let's say you go into a different sequence, they give away where they're at because you can see like molecular movements in the air.
Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of where they are, but generally speaking, you just kind of know after playing the game for a while where they are. And the last guard alive in the room always has the key card in his hand.
And coming up is one of the, it's a strange trick, but in order to get a cheat, you're supposed to, it's intended that you let go of a cam spy and start a cinema, which will play as a countdown timer is going for a safe cracking sequence that's coming up once Boss Man goes up the stairs here. You put a safe cracker on here, launch the cam spy, and this is the intended way to get the cheat.
Yeah, so actually watching the cinema while the level counts down was intended in the game. We got some more donations coming at $50 from Nevid64. My first AGDQ, second time donating. Putting donation towards Ocarina of Time Glitch Exhibition. Shoutouts to Cosmo for inspiring me to get into speedrunning. We miss you. Way to go. Thank you. $25 from Delam3, enjoying the stream this morning. Good work and thank you. Thank you guys. Keep them coming. $10 from Lance Charlson, 007, more like quadruple 07. Yeah, that four-way race.
Not much speed involved. That was the rest of the timer counts down on the bottom of the screen. Just killing guards, reducing lag, and one of them's going to drop a shield. Killing guards, reducing lag, got the shield, and the reason we picked that up is because the final exit doorway is going to explode, and we obviously don't want to die here, so it just ensures the ending goes smoothly.
Yeah, that safe hacking takes a ton of time, and really just want to play it safe and make sure that you don't do something silly, just like put yourself in the middle of tons of guards while the safe's hacking.
Now, Infiltration, the next level coming up, it's a technical level, and the first half of the level, everything that goes wrong is doubled because there's a lift, like an elevator sequence towards the end, and the longer you wait, the more that elevator goes away, so it takes time to call it back, so it's almost like a double time loss. So it's critical this button press coming up here goes smoothly. Good.
Yeah, and actually notice your boss is actually not going to pause a single time this whole run. He's going to use quick menu, and if you hold the A button, you actually kind of get into the menu and you can sort of take out all your specific items. In GoldenEye, you would have seen the guys pause a lot to take out items, but in Perfect Dark, they kind of made that unnecessary.
He almost got blocked by a guard there, but he got through flawlessly. He almost got blocked by a guard. And then one of the standout features of Perfect Dark when it came out instead of GoldenEye is that guards can be disarmed. And that guards in GoldenEye, if you shoot them in the gun, just gives them a little bit of damage and a silly animation, whereas in Perfect Dark, the gun goes flying. It disarms them.
Yeah, that's really key. Disarming guards is a huge key on this run because if you punch a guard who's disarmed, or you disarm a guard by punching him, you just pick up a gun, no problem, and it's really useful to be able to obtain guns very easily.
They get a little boost there if you repeatedly tap B while holding a box, that explosive box. Repeatedly tap B while holding a box.
Oh no.
Oh, Objective 3 failed. What a disaster. You're supposed to take that box and use it to blow up a weak section of wall coming up. It's going to prompt us to abort the mission here soon, so I don't know how we're going to manage this.
He looks up here to generate lag and get himself through the elevator door quicker. That was really nicely done.
Yeah, the door warps are harder on Perfect Dark than in GoldenEye, but so you can do things like that and get it done. Alright, so here we go. We're going to use this gun, and the gun actually blows up so we can get through this section of wall, and now Objective 3 has completed for us. Perfect Dark makes a good usage of disguises, and this is the first instance where you take a scientist's disguise, and you're wearing that for the level, and you get to the end before they really see what's going on.
And then another thing that stands out from Perfect Dark instead of GoldenEye is that every weapon has a secondary function. And in this case, he's got a grenade launcher and a Super Dragon. For self-boosting, guard elimination.
We had $10 from my pal Angel of Either. GDQ events are all fantastic. Each of you get better and better. Nothing like hanging out with friends and gaming for a great cause.
And I'll watch this clipping through the wall at the end here. It's a pretty cool trick.
Yeah, that's swag.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Well done.
Is State, one of my favorite levels here. Obviously, they're not too happy here in Area 51 that you've sort of stolen their alien specimen, and they flooded the area with nerve gas. So now we got to go with State.
Pretty long level with
The storyline in this game is a lot of fun. Like set in 2030, and you know, some stuff with alien conspiracy stuff. Very, you know, pretty cool. Yeah, so we got to secure Elvis here by putting him in this room, and once we do that, now we can progress with the rest of the level.
Yeah, I kind of messed up the release there. I changed strafe too fast.
It's tough. It's finicky to throw Elvis.
You gotta
down
make
to.
sure it stays against the wall.
injection needs to have a little bit of an input delay in there.
This level is almost like a little bit of the control of Perfect Dark. If you remember, Control and GoldenEye, we were protecting Natalia for a couple minutes. You're going to see us sort of do the same thing with Jonathan here while he works to blow up this wall. Area 51 seems to have a lot of rooms that you cannot get through without blowing up walls. Seems like kind of interesting design, but hey.
These are all strategically placed mines for after this sequence, guards will spawn, and then later on, Bossman will take them out from pretty far away. And then what's supposed to happen here is that Jonathan's planting a bomb, and he'd wait a certain amount of time that the wall would explode by itself. In this case, since we're on Agent, Bossman's just going to blow it up himself and save us 5-10 seconds. Just like that.
All right, so now we got Jonathan and Elvis on our wing here, and we really just got to get them towards the UFO, which is how we're going to escape the level.
And unlike GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, these NPCs, you can actually push them to accelerate their movement from one point to another, thus furthering the mission.
Yeah, I wish that was a GoldenEye. It'd be great. And basically, Perfect Dark also has different endings to different levels. So on this one, you can either get in the UFO and Jonathan goes find the hover bike, and that's the fastest way to do it. And that's what we're going to set up here by pushing John so curiously. If we didn't set that up, then Jonathan would just jump out on the hover bike and force you to go find, or Jonathan would hop out on the UFO and force you to go find a hover bike, which wastes like a minute more. All right, Air Force Air Base,
yeah.
another nice disguise mission. So we're going to go over here and use the crossbow to snipe a poor young air stewardess.
It's okay. That stewardess can be quite a bit further towards you. In that case, it was a bad decision. But it's okay.
Yeah, she can either spawn one of two locations, and that one's like 2 seconds further back. Not a huge deal. And I get on this mission, what you do is you board Air Force One, and depending on where you exit this mission, that's your starting location for the next mission, and Boss is going to board on the upper level, where you go through a series of lifts, as opposed to the lower level where you would go through a series of lasers.
Yeah, the point of that drug spy there was to call this lift early so it's already at the top when I get to it. Because otherwise, it would have to come all the way up once you do that shutdown.
We got $20 from Fantasy. Great job this year, GDQ. Sadly, I didn't get to see that much this year, but I've enjoyed what I've seen. Can't wait to watch AGDQ. Keep up the amazing work, everyone. Peace, love, and Kappa. Thank you. And $10 from Carlito. Last year's Golden Perfect Art Block was incredible, and this year is not disappointing. Be careful to budget myself this week to allow myself to donate over $100 total. Keep up the great work, and shout outs to Goose and Big Boss Man for behaving badly during Perfect Art. Both of them behaving badly, but Boss is slayed in here.
That was a very, very smooth ending. It just went unnoticed. That was great execution.
It still remains a mystery why the president says assume instead of assume, but you're going to see Boss back out of this room a little bit. You have to maintain eye contact with the president at all times, otherwise you start traitor and he'll fail the mission. Now normally the intended way to play through this level is actually to use an item called a combat boost, which puts the level into slow motion, and it makes it a lot easier for you to snipe guards as you go into slow-mo. But in a speedrun, that's obviously slower. So it's more efficient to not use that, I'll just like do everything in real time.
President should be coming down the stairs and through that door.
Yeah, again, obviously opening the door for the president is, you know, more commitment than not doing that.
That was a good
Solid run there.
That was a good Air Force One. Good. Next up is Crash Site, a vast, wide open level. The big twist in this level, however, is a series of 2 mine throws that takes out a presidential clone. And he looks like he throws them over the Rocky Mountains, but it kills the clone from significantly further distance than what we used to be able to do in RTA runs, and it's a pretty neat trick.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to traverse a series of really dark caves and use your like a presidential radar to find which one is the clone, which one's the real president. But you're going to see coming up, we avoid that series of caves with a certain trick.
It wasn't too terribly long ago we discovered that if you go from a crouching position to a standing as you're throwing, it puts a ton more height on your throws.
Yeah, so here's a mountaintop, and let's just chuck these mines over there and see what happens.
See objective 2 complete on screen. There you go. Perfect. Take Trent Easton's shield down to 0 there. And then the president will follow you to a safe point where Elvis and his crashed saucer are sitting. So the idea here is just to keep everybody away from the president. He's got a little bit of ADD sometimes because he likes to run around, and you got to keep him on track.
Perfect Art has such good music, and this level is an instance of that for sure. Nice, 135, pretty good. Right, I want Pelagic 2. And this is a pretty tight level. A lot of guards are going to want to set up an alarm, and you don't want that to happen, so you got to be careful to kill them all. Ooh, nice. And this room, we're going to find you want to disarm those green buttons. There's 8 buttons, and 4 of them are green, and if you turn the X-ray there to see which ones you want to disarm. People have been known to just YOLO that and hope that they press B 4 times to get the green buttons, but it's pretty unlikely.
Oh, nice. I got the quick, like, skip the message there, which still don't understand how it works exactly, but that saved a few seconds. Still don't understand how it works exactly. Kind of just happens unexpectedly. That's kind of nice to get that.
Now it's a rush to the end where another trick will be used. The X-ray scanner can be implemented, and you can activate a switch through the wall, which saves probably a minute plus, not a minute and a half. You can end the level in X-ray scanner as well, and you can do the end cinema in X-ray scan.
Yeah, the Curious Deep Sea. You kind of escort Elvis through the first half of this mission, and then he kind of hacks into a computer. The storyline in this game just gets increasingly more bizarre. You got $50 from Mentos Man 8. After losing my grandpa to cancer a few months ago, I'm quite willing to throw him some money to fight it. Cancer steals time away just like the animals, so let them die. Thank you very kindly. And Bluesica donates $25, says, third year watching, third year donating. I love watching this event, and I can't help but give towards a wonderful cause. Putting my money towards the Zelda Ocarina of Time Melee Finals and Adventure Mode speedrun, because I don't want the event to end. But I guess you guys have to go home sometime.
Taking a bit of time here to kill all the guards so that Elvis, your NPC who accompanies you, can warp to where he's supposed to be.
Yeah, Elvis.
It's not critical to go super fast.
Yeah, you gotta wait for him to follow you anyways, so you might as well take extra time to kill guards and ensure his safety.
Yeah, he might be slower because I...
For a tiny alien, this sure has a fun gun.
So you want to see Objective 1 pop up at this next door. Open it. I gotta wait a little bit. I want to make sure this Elvis message comes up here before I go in, so he doesn't disappear for no reason. Alright, and I want to avoid the far side pickup. He runs a lot faster. This is some more downtime, so...
Yeah, you'll see tons of little Skedar babies. And
they're random.
Yeah, they do some good damage, so you gotta be careful with them. And they will want to attack Elvis, so you gotta protect a lot.
Ross is going to go into the corner of the room here, wait about 10 seconds or so, hoping Elvis warps to his correct spot. And on a good day, he'll emerge back out through 2 doors and see Elvis running at him. Perfect. Good. Perfect. Mad dash to the finish.
Yeah, of course they would open it there.
Controlled by the...
That's random as far as we know.
And this is the only cutscene in the entire game you can't skip through.
You have to watch this cinema.
A little after this, these guys who are losing the Seton Mega Weapon as part of the storyline are very, very angry, and they take over the Carrington Institute. So you rescue some hostages, get an awesome developmental weapon, and that's that level.
Yeah, so this is another instance where you're going to want to use, where you're intending to use the combat boost to slow down the game, but that's obviously slower, so the boss is going to come in and save a bunch of hostages really quick.
In the fire range, if I kill my friends, it's just as good as the guards. All right, really one.
The leg spike is real.
Yeah, it's intense lag getting out of that room. Yeah, it's intense lag getting out of that room. There's gonna be a bunch of guards in this room here.
Luckily, there's a pretty generous hitbox with that data uplink.
Right, you have instant kill if you get him from behind and he doesn't notice. So I'm going to try to kill 3 or 4 Skedar here during this section. I come back here, look for Elvis, because if you don't do that, you could randomly die. You don't really know why, but if you don't do that, this strat will prevent it.
Yeah, you just really need to kill enough Skedar so that Elvis feels safe, and then he'll proceed to the rest of the level. This weapon is a pretty nice one. Its secondary function is to charge up 5 shots in one, and you can one-shot these Skedar.
We'll wait for a leg spike here, which will give away Elvis's location. There it is. Nice shot. One of the most fun kills in the entire game.
You notice the auto aim is really generous on this level. Like, you aim way side, it'll still lock in really nicely.
Yeah, now you gotta go for a lift, and you gotta go to kind of a final control room of this ship, and there are 3 Skedar waiting for you there. And I think pretty vicious, but boss should be able to take care of them with a triple headshot here. And then after these 3 guards are killed, Elvis will come out of one of these doors, and then 3 more Skedar will come. And actually, an indefinite amount of Skedar can come out through these doors. But if you kill them in this order, generally level them. Like 1 will spawn here, and then 2 will spawn here.
Very good.
If you don't kill them in that order, then like it can just go on forever. And here we're on the final level of the single segment run.
The main part of the storyline, anyway.
Yeah, so there are 5 pillars on this level, and the game randomly assigns 3 of them to be your targets each time you load the level, and so your setup can be really different at all times.
That is a very hard pillar there. That
You can't screw any of them up either. That one was very, very close.
Yeah. We nail all the pillars, and now we're going to see one of the cooler tricks in the game here. You kind of have to go through a whole maze of this level and, open some doors and close some things up. Or you can kind of just like run along this void and jump up the hill there. And then boost yourself across the gap. That's pretty nasty.
That's worth it. Some of these doors coming up will randomly stop in their opening motion as well. This far pretty good. Wow,
Those are
perfect
big
doors.
Yep. They're really solid.
Alright, so we're going to get ready on time after this boss fight.
Yep, time will be after the last spike is taken out. To get the double.
Yeah, you're shooting the spikes and causing them to drop on this guy, and that's how you defeat this game. And
Time.
Time.
somebody reset that? You cannot, you can't get out of those credits.
Yeah, so the donation incentive was done to do the bonus levels, so boss is gonna wait these out real quick.
Yeah, and you might be familiar with this file that I'm going to use. You watched AGDQ from last year.
Yeah, so throwback here. Nice file. Streets 112 was the file last year. Boss got that 5411 on Perfect Agent. It was pretty nice. So we're gonna open it back up and go through it. We've got $50 from Rakugel, says, thank you to all the runners in the community for blowing my mind all week. AGDQ has always been incredibly impressive. Thank you guys, never stop running. Thank you. We have $25 from Virgilon. Oh hey, I watched this a bit this week. You probably should donate a bit. Thank you. And anonymous $20, thank you so much for putting on an amazing event every year and raising money for this cause. As someone who's lost a loved one to cancer, I hope that one day we can find a cure to get spot. Let's get to $1 million again this year. Thank you very much for the donation.
Coming up is a sequence with Cassandra, who was seen prior to the game, and what's tough is that the auto aim will go to her, and she's a friendly character, so you have to really watch your shots if there are guards around, and to make sure the auto aim is not on Cassandra. If you kill her, obviously the mission fails.
Yeah, so the neat thing about the Perfect Dark bonus missions is that you don't play as Joanna Dark anymore, you play as some other character from the game, and right now you're playing as one of the blondes, who are like these villains in the game. And Cassandra too is a villain, but because you're both villains and this is a special solo mission, Cassandra now becomes a friendly character. Boss actually, in the single level runs of this particular level, he's had these untied world records that stood like nearly 10 years or 8 years. It's pretty insane.
2009, yeah.
Boss is the king of Mr. Blonde's revenge.
Get up there.
You can see how troll she can be running around like that.
That was excellent.
And this is the only level in the game where you start with half health, so it's risky from the start. Mayan SOS. In this particular character, you play as Elvis, you play as a Mayan character, and the handling is a little different. You literally turn twice as fast, so it takes a bit of getting used to.
Yeah, so you're just escaping the Area 51 yourself now in this version of the mission. I feel like this level on Perfect Agent, which boss beat last year, is so insanely difficult. But on Agent, it still is very difficult because you start at half health.
Bumping the R button randomly.
We're going to see a pretty cool secondary function coming up on the bottom of this ramp here. He's going to launch a proximity weapon on top of a little platform here, and it'll kill all 4 guards up there. That was perfect execution.
Yep. Like a lot of this game too is all these lift timings and stuff, so there's so many elevators that just run on cycles. So the boss hits a very nice cycle there.
Nicely done. That was good. The next elevator coming up is a bit troll because if you call it, it sends it back down. It works opposite. Whether it was an intended glitch, we don't know. You just have to simply wait it out. You can't call it.
So I gotta wait here for this lift to come down. I gotta wait here for this lift to come down.
You're going to see a neat little trick Boss Man's going to pull in the cinema at the end here. It's pretty funny. Going to blow up a cubicle wall. And to watch the cinema and the level fades out.
Then we go to war back on the Skedar home planet, and we just run through and snipe the Skedar King with a charged up Mauler shot.
And these are self boosts like what we were talking about in GoldenEye. launching explosions at your feet to propel you slightly faster
So
forward.
not quite as effective in Perfect Dark. They might only say like 0.05 compared to 0.3, but on a level like this where you have the time and opportunity to do them, they are worth it.
That's
And
it.
there we go.
Very good. The last level in the game and the shortest level of the game is Duel. Turn around, shoot one guard in the chest or the head. That's it. 4 seconds. Or if he's really good, you'll get 3. 4 seconds.
I thought the posture, the fastest you can get is 4, so.
That's it.
There we go.
All right.
Good run.
Done.
And that's Perfect Dark Agent for you.
Thanks.
We've got $25. Great job tech and people behind the scenes who let the runners work their magic. Tech hype. I'm sure they'll appreciate that behind here. They're all smiling. I think with that, it's a good time to probably head to a break. You're watching Games Done Quick 2015, raising money for the Brain Cancer Foundation. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back with a Halo 2 run by Mr. Monopoly and Rudy T.